In this video, I'll walk through adding data to your spreadsheet template. I will walk through each data template form, starting with the ELPA 21 template, then the Alt ELPA template, and finally the monitoring document form. Please keep in mind that best practice is to click the link in the email you received from LPAC EasyDocs to force a copy of the data templates, or use the CSV files included in the zipped folder. While nearly any spreadsheet tool can be used, it is recommended that you use Google Sheets, as you will have some additional functionality provided within that tool. Please also remember that since you are making a copy, your data is only accessible by you and anyone you share your spreadsheet with. LPAC EasyDocs cannot see your data spreadsheets. Now, let's get started. Today, I will be using some sample student data. You will want to verify that the information you enter is correct, because the information that you enter is what will be printed on the LPAC forms. Today, I will be showing how to use the template in Google Sheets. This will help ensure the program runs correctly, since many of the data fields are set up for you. Also, I have my different templates in one spreadsheet for ease of filming this video. You will receive a different template for each form type. Check out our Organizing Your Student Data video for tips on managing spreadsheets, tabs, and digital documentation. We are going to begin by practicing with our ELPA 21 tab. This is for any English learner student who has taken either the ELPA 21 screener or the ELPA 21 summative assessment. I'm going to start by typing my sample student's name and then selecting the assessment that they have taken. For this student, I'm going to choose the screener. You can have students who have taken both the screener and the summative test all in the same spreadsheet. Next, I will enter the date that the student took the ELPA 21 screener. Here, I will type the student's grade. You may enter in the number, you may enter in first, or you can even spell it out. For the teacher, you can type in the teacher's name or homeroom teacher. Next, I have the ability to check several services that this student might also receive. Possibly this student has an IEP, receives dyslexia services, qualifies for GT support, or may also qualify for migrant services. For this sample student, we are going to check the box for IEP and dyslexia. The next fields are the fields for ELD support and access to core. Please access your LEAP codes documentation from Arkansas for any questions about what these fields might mean. For ELD support, I have the options of push in, pull out, class period, embedded for intermediate, embedded advanced, embedded self-contained, newcomer program, or decline services. For this student, I'm going to choose pull out. For access to core, we have the options of content classes with integrated support, sheltered instruction, declined services, or newcomer program. I'm going to select content classes with integrated support. Next, I will enter in the student's home language and this student's entry date. Followed by the student's birthday, and the school that this student is currently attending. Finally, for demographic information, I will enter in the student's state ID number. Now it is time to enter in the results from the ELPA 21 screener or summative assessment. Again, you have drop-down fields to assist you. For proficiency level, you have the choice of emerging, progressing, or proficient. For this student, he scored progressing on the screener. For listening, I can again choose beginning, early intermediate, intermediate, early advanced, and advanced. Again, refer to your student's data to know which score you should select. Remember that beginning corresponds with level 1, early intermediate is level 2, intermediate is level 3, early advanced is level 4, and advanced is level 5. Once I have the student's data entered into the spreadsheet, I'm then able to go and continue filling out the columns of my student data. It is up to you with how many students you have in your district, school, or grade for how many students you put into the same spreadsheet. Again, please check out our other videos for tips and suggestions for organizing your student data. Next, let's look at the ELPA form and how it is a little different. For this one, again, I'm going to enter in my sample student's name, and I'm going to choose which ELPA 21 assessment they took, whether it was the alternative screener or the alternative summative. Again, I will enter in the test date, the grade for this student, the teacher, which may be the homeroom teacher. This field can also be left blank if unknown. And then I'm going to check what services this student also receives. Because they're taking the alternate assessment, it is likely that you will be checking the IEP box at a minimum. Then I will also select the ELD support that they receive. This student is embedded self-contained. Access to core is sheltered instruction. I'm going to continue with the home language, the entry date, birthday, the school that this student is currently attending, and their state ID number. Now, when it's time to choose the results from the screener or the summative, I still have the same choices for the proficiency level. But notice I now have modality productive, 1A speaking, 1B writing, modality receptive, 2A listening, 2B reading. Again, be sure to take this information from the student score report. So I will go through and make the selections. Again, notice that the categories for the alternate assessment are slightly different. I have the choices of beginning, intermediate, early advanced, and advanced. So as I go through, I will make the suggestions based on how the student performed on their assessment. Again, once I've entered one student, I can then return and continue entering in the other student data. The first year requires the most work in setting up your spreadsheets. The following years, you will be able to copy and paste data from the previous year and then just make any changes to students' test scores, grades, and teachers. And now let's look at how to enter in data for students who are in monitoring. This can be for students who scored proficient on either the screener or summative test, or students who have previously demonstrated proficiency and are still completing their years of monitoring. Again, I'm going to start by typing in my student's name. Then I'm going to select my reason for the form. Initiating placement as a former English learner, documenting a prior exit that was not documented, or monitoring a former English learner. For this example, I'm going to select monitoring a former English learner. Next, I'm going to choose the ELPA assessment that the student took and demonstrated proficiency on. For this student, I'm going to choose ELPA 21 summative. I will then continue completing the demographics for the student until I get all the way completed. Remember, the first year setting up your spreadsheets will be the most intensive as you get all the data in. After that, you'll be able to copy the data over for future years reference, where you only have to update the test taken, the scores, and the grade information. I'm going to continue going till we get everything in. For current year monitoring, this is the status that the student is currently in. For students who it's their first year where you're initiating that exit placement, you would select English learner because they are currently an English learner. I have M1 for students in their first year of monitoring, M2 for students in their second year, M3 third year, M4 fourth year, and MC is for monitoring complete. For this student, I'm going to select M2 for monitoring year 2. The next monitoring year is the year that will actually print on the score report. This is the recommendation for the status for the upcoming school year. So for this student, I'm going to select M3. I then will type in the evidence that I have collected on this student that demonstrates that they are performing on the level of their English only peers. I have found that if I keep up with this information throughout the school year, it makes running my monitoring data sheets very easy at the end of the year once I have all my data. So for this student, I'm going to enter in the data that I have. And that's it. Once I have the data entered, I can then go back and continue adding other students and their information. You can keep all students who are in monitoring in the same tab, or you could have a different monitoring tab for each student for each section of monitoring, maybe a tab for M2, a tab for M3, M4, etc. For more suggestions and tips on organizing your data, check out our video about organizing your student data. Thank you for choosing LPAC EasyDocs, simplifying your ELL documentation process.